The Shaun Strickland saga continues. It just doesn't end with this guy. Now we've got more influencers coming out the woodwork, challenging Shaun Strickland to a fight. It's now the professional MMA fighters versus the influencers. We all seen yesterday, Jake Paul came out, he defended Sneeko, he challenged Shaun Strickland to a fight. He said, I'll put $1 million on the line if you win the spar. If I drop you, you've got to get a tattoo of my gambling company on you. Shaun was all game for it. And now we've got the influencer slash pro bare knuckle fighter, Bryce Hall, coming at Shaun Strickland. This interaction between Bryce Hall on the right and Sneeko on the left was caught on Sneeko's stream. Take a listen to what Bryce Hall says.
Actually seeing like that made me mad.
That's what I thought he was gonna do.
And dude, I want to see like
He's known for being a hard sparer.
him doing that.
Champion.
I would love to just do that to kind of show him. I know this is crazy to say, but if me and him box, it'll be different.
You think so?
Yes. I can actually put like a ton of money on it. I don't care. It would be very, very close. Oh, it was scummy, man. This influencer's down to spar Shaun Strickland. And I'm only 180 pounds, Shaun Strickland. I'm down for it. He can go as hard as he wants.
Now, big shout out to Bryce, to be fair. The kid's got balls. He's calling out Shaun Strickland after he's seen what he done to Sneeko. But don't get it twisted. Bryce Hall can fight. He's got some skills. We done a video last week of him having a little spar with Neon. And of course, it's sparring with Neon. But you can see that he's got really good movements. Here's Bryce Hall in his last bare knuckle fight.
Number one, white trunks for Bryce Hall, black trunks for G. Perez. Goes immediately to the outside. Circling out to the inside. Big shots and down goes G. Perez on the right hand. That first punch, wow. That was a wake-up call for Perez.
I can only use a small clip just for copyright purposes, but he went on to win that fight. He had a little bit of adversity and the other fella fought back pretty good. But Bryce Hall looked good and he's certainly a decent fighter. If you're doing bare knuckle, you've definitely passed the influencer boxer stage. It's fair to say that you're pretty legit. Are you world class level? The type of fighter who can compete with the best in the world within the UFC? Nah, definitely not. But I'm just giving Bryce some props here. He can definitely throw hands. He can definitely move. He's quite slick. He's got good head movements. I've got nothing bad to say about him. I'm not just going to hate someone because they are an influencer. At the end of the day, what value are you bringing into the world? That's what truly matters. And Bryce used to do TikTok dances. Now he's getting in there and doing bare knuckle fights. You gotta give him his respect. So this clip was reposted by Saturday Night MMA. Shaun Strickland commented. First he said, ha ha ha, sign me up. Then he said, tomorrow, accepting the fight with Bryce Hall. Now, I actually agree with this guy right here. Dude won one bare knuckle fight. Now he thinks he's UFC champion contender level. Sounds about right. Someone said, this little midget boy thinks he could touch Strickland. I'm dead. I think Bryce Hall's like 5'10". It's just Sneeko's quite tall. So Shaun Strickland is game. Now, on Shaun's Twitter and Instagram, he shared this screenshot of Bryce Hall DMing him. And Bryce Hall said this in reaction to Shaun Strickland saying, tomorrow? Bryce said, okay, deal. Me and you this week. I'll give you a location. You can bring a GoPro or something. Just me and you. I'm tired of this gym BS. You ready to be a man for the first time in your life? And I know people hate the influencers, but come on. The kid's got balls to be able to do that. No wonder Shaun Strickland could just say, okay, and if Bryce doesn't follow through with it, then he's going to look like the wuss. I don't know Bryce, but a lot of these influencers are all talk. But the fact that Bryce Hall is just straight up DM'd Shaun Strickland and said, let's have it. Just me and you. No one else. Are you ready to be a man? I can respect it. Do I think it's slightly delusional? Yes, 100%. Bryce Hall actually retweeted this and said, you know I'm down, Shauny boy. My personal opinion is I think Shaun would destroy Bryce Hall. Bryce Hall might have some moments. He might be able to be defensively sound. But I think as the minutes go, Shaun will just be able to do whatever he wants with Bryce Hall. Despite the fact that Bryce Hall has been the purebred boxer for longer than Shaun Strickland has. Shaun Strickland has been doing this for what? 10 years, 15, 20 years, his entire life. And he's got a predominantly boxing style. Okay, it's boxing that's being adapted for MMA. And regardless whether you think Shaun is sloppy or he doesn't possess power, he's still really good. He's world class. In terms of sparring, I would put my money on Shaun over anyone. Now, when they're actually in the cage, in the octagon, that's when the water becomes a little bit murky. Shaun Strickland's strength is sparring. So Bryce going up against Shaun, he's got no chance. And we know Shaun hates influencers because he posted this. It's basically the video of him beating up Sneeko, which I'm not going to play because my last 2 videos got limited and demonetized, and then it took over 24 hours to get monetized in the end. But we've all seen what happened. If you haven't seen what happened, just go back to my last 2 videos. But this is the caption that Shaun Strickland shared with this video. I absolutely hate influencers, cancer on society, but I feel there's a small part of this man seeking redemption. Like, Shaun's got a proper disdain for people, hasn't he? He called influencers a cancer on society. He really has a vendetta against them. And he posted this 23 hours ago, which is long after the initial spar happened with Sneeko. John Wayne Parr, Muay Thai legend, who was meant to fight on the Strongman MMA event in Qatar. We've been speaking in the DMs a little bit. That event is mad, by the way. Go and watch some of my videos on it if you haven't already. He said, I had Sneeko winning the first 3 minutes. Yeah, me too. Someone said, dropped Izzy, couldn't even drop Sneeko. Here's the thing about influencers, you guys. This guy said, anybody saying Strickland shouldn't have gone that hard needs to watch the full video where he let Sneeko throw punches for 4 minutes straight, and the whole time he was telling him he was going to unleash at the end of the round, and Sneeko, who signed up for it, said he was ready. Also, anybody saying, oh, he couldn't knock him out, he was about to when the ref stepped in, and he would have. Y'all would have been complaining either way. Still, I just don't think it justifies going that hard. It was an uncomfortable watch, but I believe you do have to expect it when you're going in there against Shaun Strickland. We're not talking about just a regular, sane person. We're talking about a bit of a psycho here, a self-proclaimed psycho. This guy said, I mean, he took it like a man. I'll give him that. He certainly did. So all this talk of influencers challenging professional MMA fighters, who do you think would get the Shaun Strickland fight or Shaun Strickland spar first? Would it be Jake Paul or would it be Bryce Hall? Now, on this right here from Happy Punch, update, Bryce Hall's manager says it most likely will not happen this week, but plans to talk with Strickland's team tomorrow. And that update was from Keemstar, who runs Drama Alert. Last comment, someone else said, anyone else think it's kind of weird that a former UFC champion is going out of his way to beat up streamers so he seems like more of a man? I'm not saying I like these streamers, I just think it's weird. I guess you could look at it that way, but I think Shaun Strickland will just fight anybody. He just likes fighting. And I done a video about Shaun Strickland a while back saying that he's not the champion that everyone wants him to be. He's not going to be super professional, and that's kind of the reason why people like him. People like him because he's off the hinges a little bit and because he's unpredictable. The only thing is that personality type comes with problems. Even Dana White said you need to keep Shaun Strickland away from other humans. I don't want to make excuses for him, but he has got a lot of trauma there. We've seen him cry on the Theo Von podcast. So I just think it's all about expectations. You can't expect somebody like this to act differently. You're not changing someone like Shaun Strickland. Final point, who would win in a fight, Shaun Strickland or Bryce Hall? Strickland would dominate Bryce. I like Bryce. I'm sure he's a great guy. He's turned his influencing career around from dancing on TikTok to getting in there doing bare knuckle fights, and I can only respect that. But he's delusional. You're not going to beat a professional MMA fighter like Shaun Strickland. And let's face it, he's not like Tony Ferguson, where he's coming off a big losing streak. He's not old either. He's in the prime of his career, and he's only just lost a fight against Dricus du Plessis, barely, and a lot of people thought he won that fight. So you're talking about Shaun Strickland, who's in the peak of his career right now, fighting the best middleweights in the world. And that's another thing, we talk a lot about size versus technique and skill on this channel. Size 100% matters, of course, but you can still win against a larger opponent as long as you are more skilled than them. Bryce Hall is the smaller man in this fight, and is Bryce more skilled than Shaun Strickland? I don't think so. He's been doing it for 3-ish years, something like that. Shaun Strickland's just got too much experience and more total fights under his belt. So Shaun Strickland would absolutely dominate him. I, myself, would love to see this because I think it makes for great content and it's just exciting to see. What you guys think, let me know in the comments. And also, if you like raw hip-hop stuff that's going to get you hyped for the gym, make sure you check out my new song releasing this Friday. My Spotify is in the description. Go and check it out if you want. Make sure you like this video. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you tomorrow.